Julia Child cried when she tried this dessert.
It's a dessert to cry over.
Will I share the same fate? Ooh, time will tell.
Oh! Bon appetit.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to our kitchen. Please pull up a seat and hope you got your tissues ready. We may be on a bit of a dessert emotional roller coaster today. There is a clip circulating around right now of Julia Child being brought to tears by a dessert. When I watched this clip, first thing I thought was, I really hope I have that recipe in one of my cookbooks, because it's not specifically a Julia Child recipe, but it was featured on her show, Baking with Julia. And I have that cookbook right here. So the dessert in question is a brioche tart with a white secret sauce. And this is by a contributing baker, Nancy Silverton, who I looked it up, chef, baker, cookbook author extraordinaire. Color photograph, page 341. There it is. It actually looks better in the show, in the video I was watching. Still looks good, but it looks better in the video. During that Julia Child era where she's much older, anytime I've watched her during that period, she's more of the host, like sidekick, helping out, and then Nancy's kind of taking lead with this one because it is her recipe and there's some elaborate steps involved in this, and I've never actually seen a dessert like this before because the brioche dough here is kind of acting like a pie crust, kind of, and then on top there was a crème fraîche. There's the white secret sauce, which isn't so secret because the recipe is in this book, and then the caramel poached fruit. Really wasn't shocked by Julia's reaction. The buildup was there, the reveal, taking a bite, I was like, oh yeah, I mean, that does look incredible.
So good. Thank you.
Anyway, when she eats it and then she kind of tears up a bit, she declares it a triumph.
That's a triumph.
I knew I had to, give it a go. So that's what I'm gonna do. So we're starting off with making our brioche dough. This is warmed milk. Microwaves in the back there. Don't ask. It's an elegant yeasted dough, of course, cross between bread and pastry. It is rich with butter and eggs, just a little sweet, pullable, a gentle tug, and the bread stretches in long, lacy strands. It's fine textured, the result of being beaten for close to half an hour. Okay, bowl me. Actually, no, I need the specific bowl. You know what I'm after, but be gentle, it's expensive. Jeez. That is the bowl to the Silver Fox. You'll be seeing her soon. So we're gonna start off with 1 cup of all-purpose flour. That's 1 egg. That's 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. So with my warmed milk, it needs to be 100 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 102. There you go. Mix the ingredients together with a rubber spatula. So this next step I've never actually seen done in another recipe before, which doesn't really mean anything coming from me, but I'm sprinkling on a cup of all-purpose flour on top, and then I'm gonna let that rest for 30 to 40 minutes, just like so. I need proof of life from the yeast. I need to know that it's alive. The flour coating will crack. It's an indication that everything is moving along properly. So it cracked, and that's now considered our sponge. Now, on top of this sponge, I have to add in 1/3 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 other cup of all-purpose flour. Should mention I'm going by cups today. I know when you're baking, it's a risky move, but that's what the recipe's doing, so I don't want to do the math today. And Nancy had no trouble with it, so maybe one of the oh God moments that I'm gonna regret later on in this video, right? But let's not think like that today. So I need 4 eggs, slightly mixed, and then those go on top of all this fun stuff. So now what do I do with this, right? Well, let me go fetch a friend. Didn't I tell you it was coming? It's a Silver Fox. Oh, hello. Silver Fox. Locked and loaded, and I need the dough hook attachment. Okay, I need the ingredients to come together here, so mix on low for a minute or 2. keeping it running, sprinkle in a half a cup of flour. Okay. I've made a few brioche doughs in the day, and well, the Silver Fox is always pushed right to the limit. So it's gonna be no different today. Now that the flour is incorporated, I'm gonna crank this up to medium, and I'm gonna beat it for, could be 15 minutes. It says sometimes it takes longer, like 25 minutes. Looking for like a fine texture, and we're gonna be listening for the slapping. It's gonna be slapping against the sides of the bowl. I know, we hear ya. Uh-oh. Huh. Uh-oh. Silver Fox. Silver Fox. Silver Fox, talk to me. Oh no. Okay. I would say the last few times I've been using this thing hasn't been sounding good. And it just died. Just like any other machine, right? It's dead, but for how long is the question. Let's take the top off and have a look, see what's causing Silver Fox pain. I did unplug it just so I don't die. Something that I do when something breaks, I like to take it apart and see why. I did watch a video at one point in my life. I know they're out there, and I'll probably watch a couple more before the end of the day, but I don't have enough screwdriver heads in my arsenal to take this thing apart right now. I'm not gonna do this today, so we're gonna have to pause. For all the Silver Fox fanatics out there concerned, you're not gonna have an end to the story right now. I'll take good care of her. It's funny because it's not funny, but the cookbook says, be warned, your mixture will become extremely hot. And since I've done this before, I know that that is to be true. I guess I made one too many brioches with the Silver Fox. Masterclass is not what you have been watching. That's today's sponsor, is Masterclass. It is a well-made platform that has actual experts that are teaching you the thing that they're known for. And don't think of it like school or anything like that. Consider it more like eavesdropping. But also they're talking directly to you too. You can watch a top-tier chef talk through their approach with something like flavor, or how about a pastry chef like Dominique Ansal, breaking down how he makes literal magic out of butter and flour. I mean, that one seems rather pertinent to what we're doing right now, but at the same time, you don't have to become a master of something. That's what I tell myself. I like knowing that if I ever need a little inspiration or direction, there's a place where it's just stacked full of people who have actually done the thing. Because the lessons are easy to just drop in and out of. It's like 5-10 minutes here, one class there. You fit it in between your life. There's over 200 instructors across food and film and storytelling and design and business. So if you like learning from people who actually know what they're talking about, they're not just the loudest or the most viral on the internet, check out Masterclass. There is a link in the description with up to 15% off. All right. I'm pretty certain I've made brioche by hand before, haven't I? I'm pretty sure I did it for that strawberry shortcake brioche dessert from Julia. What was that called? La Marley, right? I think this has been kneaded to the point where it is no longer sticky, which means that I can move on to, I think, the butter stage, which is stick and a half of butter. Yes, that is two different colors. Butter, European butter, American. And that's what I have in the fridge. That's what I shall use. I don't think it should affect brioche in the slightest. Room temperature, and you can see that it take like around a tablespoon at a time of the softened butter into the dough. Let's do it. Bracelets off. Keep adding the butter with the bench scraper and it just, you know. Okay, so make sure that the surface is floured. How about that? That way you have a grip on reality here. Yeah, Julia says that this dough is going to be ropey and messy, and it's all of those things and more. And I just got to keep doing this until the butter gets absorbed. I miss Silver Fox. I can see her over there, but she's injured. She says that you want to work fast so that the butter doesn't become oily, but I don't know how to speed up this process here because you just kind of have to stand here and just keep doing this. So I don't know how you can speed it up by just working faster, I guess. But doesn't the faster you go generate more heat on your hands? That's what I was thinking. Just using the heel of my hand. How about that? Then you go ahead and scrape all the stuff off the surface and just keep going. I'm just making this up, but I take the dough, I fold it over, and then I push it with the heel of my hand, and then I just repeat. It seems to be working. And in a few minutes, it now looks fairly smooth and elastic. Okay, so I got it to a good point. Now I gotta let this rest for 2 to 3 minutes. Knead it again briefly until the dough cleans the butter off the surface and my hands. Okay. Oh, I got it myself. So I've greased up a bowl and I got my very smooth looking brioche dough. Plastic wrap on top, and I gotta leave this room temperature until it has doubled in size. It's gonna take around 2 to 2.5 hours. 2.5, maybe 3 hours. Yeah, I was patient. This thing has doubled in size quite nicely. This is what she does in the show, is she kind of like opens it up and it reveals the inside to Julia. She's like, oh yeah, it's kind of webby in there. Okay, so we're just doing a gentle twist to deflate, let the air and the gas bubbles out of this sucker. So she lifts up a bit of it and lets it fall back down. So it's time for a second rise. This one's much longer and it has to go in the fridge. Either overnight or 4 to 6 hours. In the fridge. I opted for overnight because I'm like, just give that time to do whatever the hell it needs to do because of the issues that we were having with the Silver Fox, rest its soul. According to the recipe here, you're supposed to work with this dough while it is chilled. Have what you got there because I did make a full recipe. The first thing I gotta do is flatten into a 5-inch disc. She says to use either a 10-inch flan, a 10-inch flan ring, if you have one, flanny flan, or she says you can use the ring of a spring-form pan here. Roll out this into a circle that's 1 to 1.5 inches larger than the ring. Of course, the less talking I do about it, the more successful I can be. So just shut up. So I rolled the dough out to be 1.5 inches longer than this ring, and then I pressed the ring down into the dough, keeping the fingers of your left hand against the guideline. Lift a little of the dough from the edge with your right hand and fold it over so that it falls about 1/4 inch past the guideline. In this position, you should be able to pinch the dough between the index fingers of both hands and crimp. Work your way around the tart and don't be concerned about it getting just so. Transfer it to this baking sheet here with the slip pat mat. Go through this crimped edge and just kind of prop it up so it looks a little nicer, and then I press down in the center area. When it comes to making dough on this show, I think the rule is that I should always have a backup plan. I learned that with the croissants this year, with the bread that I made for Thomas Keller's recipe. I mean, I just did that in 5 seconds. It looks better than what I already did over here. Oy! Okay, so I gotta leave these uncovered, room temperature, for an hour for them to double in size. The first one is it looks okay, but I feel like it needs, well, I got a backup plan. After an hour, we'll see which one is best. Not yesterday, the day before, I started the process of making my own crème fraîche. Cut to the footage of me back in the other kitchen. Remember that spot? 1 cup of heavy cream and a tablespoon of buttermilk. And all I did is add them both into this container here, put the lid on, shook it, and left it at room temperature for like a day. After a day just hanging out on the counter, it looks like that thickens the hell up. I had no idea. Anyway, once it did thicken up, I had it in the fridge until this very moment. Can I have a bowl? 1 bowl. Thank you. And that goes into there, along with an egg. I gotta give that a whisk. Okay, sweet. Into the center of the dough, I have to make some dimples. So whichever one I have the most fun doing that with. They're about the same. Okay, pour the crème fraîche into the center of the pan. I got a little leftover crème fraîche. I'm gonna make 2 of these suckers. Sprinkle in between 1/3 cup to 1/4 cup of sugar on top of the crème fraîche. As this recipe says, it's gonna tell you when you've added enough sugar because it's gonna stop being absorbed and it's just gonna hang out on the surface. So with the crimped edge, you brush it with egg white. This is the right thing, right? Crystal sugar, I need some crystal sugar for sparkling. The crystal sugar never dissolves, she says. So I gotta sprinkle that around the edge on the crimped crust, but it's okay if it goes elsewhere too. You're just, you know, you're making it pretty. This is the dilly, okay? I got two ovens right now. One's over there, both at 275 degrees Fahrenheit. Bake this for 30 to 40 minutes. So one's gonna go there, one's gonna go there. No problems today. I'm hoping with the correct attitude that's the case. So I don't need to grab it with that, so. Easy does it, you little brat. Okay, let's have a look here. The crust is golden brown. Perfect, that's what I'm looking for. The custard needs to just set and jiggle slightly. All right, this is coming out. I have unmolded both of them. They look pretty good. They both have their own pros and cons. Accurate baking times in the cookbook, it's just that the 2 different ovens, completely different things. So for the most part, this one looks perfect to me. And this one looks like, okay, well, I'm not gonna go with that. Let's get to it. Next up is the sauce. Well, the very beginning of this sauce, which is gonna eventually turn into the white secret sauce. Intrigued? So while the tarts are just hanging out off to the side there, let's make the sauce that I just said. Okay, so I gotta start off with making a caramel syrup. So 1.5 cups of sugar. That just can go there. What do we got next? Vanilla beans. Oh yes. It's hard to be sure if they've all been removed. There were so many little ones. Maybe I should just wipe it with a cloth or something. They appear to be seedless now. That's great. Combine the heavy cream and the vanilla bean seeds. I will always show that clip because I never want to forget the lessons that I've learned. Split the bean open. Open sesame. Scrape out the good stuff. Oh yeah. Okay, I would be lying to you if this step was not making me a tad nervous. Just everything that is about to happen here, because I really have one opportunity to get this right because I am using such an expensive ingredient that I only bought this much worth. So if this goes south, game over. Well, then I'd have to go to the store and get more of these. So into the sugar, I'm gonna drop in the 2 emptied pods, as well as the good stuff, all those seeds. Here we go, pour in the water, 1/3 cup worth. Key instruction here, do not stir anything just yet. Turn the heat to high and bring them mixed to a boil. That's what we gotta do. So we're gonna bring this to a boil. As soon as the caramel starts to color, begin to swirl the skillet gently over the heat. Keep swirling until the caramel becomes a deep gold. Okay, so this is the step that freaks me out. I have to add in 2.5 cups of a dry white wine in here. So she says to stand back because it's gonna freaking bubble and sizzle. So remove from the heat and let's do it. Turn on the heat. It will seize and harden, which is exactly what it did, but now we got it back on the heat. Bring the syrup back to a boil again. Caramel has melted again. Let's turn off the heat. I got a measuring cup and a strainer, and I need 1.5 cups worth. Oh, cool. So the vanilla seeds do make their way through. This remaining syrup, I need that later. And then this I need now. Let's go over here. Bowl me. Thank you. 4 egg yolks, a saucepan full of boiling water, and I got the bowl with the egg yolks. And when I put that on top, it can't touch the water. Now this next step's gonna take around 5 minutes, could go as long as 8 minutes. Bowl goes on top, get whisking. So they make it look easier on the show because Julia's the one that's pouring it in and the other one's whisking. But here I just gotta do it myself, which is fine. It's not a complaint, it's just an observation. So the eggs are gonna need to become voluminous. How do I say that word? Voluminous. The eggs are gonna need a little volume to them. And then right at the bottom of this pour is all those vanilla seeds. In they go. Yeah. What's this called? A sabayon, right? You poke your finger in. It's gonna be too hot to stand. It's literally what it says, so. Yep. Oh, perfect timing. Hurry up. So now I got the granny mixer. Vroom vroom. It actually says if you have a heavy duty stand mixer, which So we're gonna mix this for 10 to 15 minutes until the mixture is now cool to touch, pale, and tripled in volume. Thank God. That took a while, but it is well worth it in the end because I can't believe that that's now what that looks like after all of that. And it's quite tasty. So, isn't it amazing that all the steps that we just went through and now we have something like that? Like, you know, isn't cooking fun? Put that aside for a second, and it says that I need whipped cream. Whoops, I haven't whipped it yet. Bowl me. Thank you. And what is it, 1 cup worth? Whipped to soft peaks. Yeah, I thought folding in the whipped cream would turn it white. It is a white secret sauce. It still has a bit of a golden tinge to it from the caramelized sugar, which is fine. I kind of like what mine looks like. And keep it covered, keep it in the fridge until I'm ready for it, which is soon. It will last up to 24 hours. No need to panic. I got a big bowl of pitted fruit. Peaches, plums, nectarines. I got a little of everything here. I'm just gonna slice them. So this is like the final thing we have to do here. Woohoo. I'm gonna take the remaining, what is this called? The remaining caramel wine syrup. Vanilla pods all. Boiling, add in the fruit. Swirl it around, and I'm gonna just saute the fruit up until it has softened. I had the oven on fairly low and I've just been warming this up because it says you can serve it warm. I just want to like a little caramelization on the very top because in the full video that's what they have. I didn't get in the oven and I wasn't really expecting it, but I think you should stop. Order up! Soak the brioche with the syrup and then some of the fruit. Kind of just, yeah, here, there. Yeah, kind of like that. Plop on the white secret sauce. Toasted sliced almonds. Julia says here you push this as far as it can go. Lastly, some powdered sugar. Hold on to something. You know, it's one of those things where you wish you had a second slice. Oh, perfect. I'm not crying yet, but I'm getting close.
It's a dessert to cry over.
Gotcha. Very good. After Julia takes her bite, she cries. She says it's the best dessert she ever ate.
Well, I think this is the best dessert I ever ate.
She says it in the moment, you know. We all say things. After the fact, I'm curious, did she still feel that way? Because she had so many great desserts over the years, over in France, you know. Crepe Suzette, anyone? Do I think it is triumphant? To a degree. It's very good. There's lots going on. Let's try to break it down. Start at the bottom, the brioche. Buttery and soft. It has like an especially big crust here, which I'll consider a pro and a con because it is a lot of bread to the dessert, but I didn't mind that so much. The texture and the taste of it was really singing through the dish, and the bread absorbed all that syrup that I poured on top. Now, I gotta say something about the crème fraîche that I made. Having it on its own was tangy, and then I added sugar to it, so yeah, sweet. It kind of gets lost in everything because it is just kind of in the middle of the pack with all the other things going on, and at the same time, I think it was providing some balance, which is crucial. And then what, the white secret sauce, secrets out. Yeah, that had like a caramelized, subtle white wine flavor running through it. It was very... Peaches were very sweet and a little tartness going on there, and I cooked them to the right tenderness. Oh, so tender. So that was very nice, and then they're just soaked in that caramelized white wine syrup, which again, big hit over here. So toasted almonds on top for a little crunch. Yeah, pretty good, pretty damn good. I'm gonna give it an 80% on the cryometer.
It's a dessert to cry.
That's a good mark. It's like an A. So A minus, maybe an A minus. I'm out of here. This was Jamie and Julia and Nancy. Bon appetit. Au revoir.
Bon appetit.